W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. PL110.9. Net.
Good evening, and welcome to the Call the Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KDA-BYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2406 with the release date of Friday, December 8th, 2023, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. AMSI releases its first solar eclipse findings. AMSAT Canada arrives on the satellite scene, and meet Newsline's international newsmaker for 2023. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2406 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
Our top story this week comes to us from the citizen science effort known as AMSI. Groundbreaking ionospheric research during the October 14th annual solar eclipse has already begun to yield the first of many new insights. Patrick Clark, K8TAC, brings us the details.
If you participated in the solar eclipse QSO party this past autumn, yours is among the 300 logs that are helping yield data for the AMSI team, led by Nathaniel Fizal, W2NAF. The QSO party helped flesh out the overall picture, along with data collection from more than 7 million spots on the air and a variety of experiments to study the solar eclipse's effects on the ionosphere. As AMSI prepares for another QSO party and more observations during the total solar eclipse over North America on April the 8th, the team has released its earliest findings from October. The detailed technical document contains a variety of charts and graphic elements that expand on these observations. Please visit our website, arnewsline.org, and click on the tab that says Extra. You will find the full illustrated document there AMSI provided to Newsline. This is Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
The FCC has issued warnings to landowners for what the agency says is their support of radio piracy in Boston. Andy Morrison, K9AWM, has that story.
In the U.S., landowners in Boston, Massachusetts have received 9 warnings and the threat of more than $2 million in fines from the Federal Communications Commission for permitting illegal radio broadcasts on their premises. This is the latest action taken on December 1st to be taken under the 3-year-old Pirate Act, which stands for Preventing Illegal Radio Abuse Through Enforcement. The act gives the FCC the power to impose fines of up to $2 million if the broadcasts continue. The agency also has the power to seize equipment. As a number of media outlets, including RadioWorld.com, have reported, the FCC has no further ability to act against the illegal stations and has no responsibility for collecting the actual fines. This is the purview of the U.S. Department of Justice, which is also responsible for fines imposed in the cases of violent crimes and drug cases. In a November 24th story on Radio World's website, an FCC representative said, quote, "We do not release non-public information about our ongoing investigations, which include whether a forfeiture is paid or not," end quote. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Canada has taken an important first formal step towards supporting and developing the growth of amateur radio in space through the incorporation of a non-profit membership-based organization, AMSAT-CA. AMSAT-CA's first venture will be a European and Canadian geosynchronous amateur radio satellite over the North Atlantic, a future venture proposed by the European Space Agency. A technical group is being assembled to present a Canadian position paper for the project. AMSAT-CA's website is still under development, but visitors to AMSAT.ca can view a video from Frank Zeppenfeld, PD0AP, of the ESA at the AMSAT-UK colloquium, describing the geostationary microwave amateur payload proposal. Congratulations to all the men and women in space and all the students and educators who have connected with them over the years. In November, amateur radio communications between space and the Earth marked its 40th year. These dialogues began in 1983 with a program known as the Shuttle Amateur Radio Experiment, or SAREX. SAREX was replaced in the year 2000 by amateur radio on the International Space Station. According to NASA, these high-flying QSOs have touched people in 49 U.S. states, 63 nations, and every continent, drawing the participation of more than 1 million students, opening up the world of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to them. Hams in Ireland, who are seeking their harmonized amateur radio examination certificate, have a new resource to turn to, as Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us.
The Irish Radio Transmitter Society has published its newest study guide for the Irish HAREC exam syllabus, covering technology regulations and radio theory. The free 400-page guide is available as a downloadable PDF and is considered to be comprehensive with more than 450 footnotes to assist with learning. Even hams who already have the license may find the publication useful in helping to update their knowledge of antenna safety or SDR technology. The guide is designed for those who prefer self-study, but it's also compatible with use in classroom lessons. The IRTS expressed its thanks to Rafal EI6LA and members of the National Shortwave Listeners Club, among the many other authors. To download the 25-megabyte file, see the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org.
Hams need to be effective communicators, not just with other hams, but often with their neighbors. The ARRL's RF Safety Committee, the Swedish Society of Radio Amateurs, the Radio Society of Great Britain, and the Irish Radio Transmitters Society have developed guidelines to help hams address neighbors' concerns about RF exposure from their stations. The ARRL's chairman of RF Safety Committee, Greg Lappin, N9GL, announced the availability of the guidelines in a downloadable PDF from the website. In making the guidelines available, Greg urged hams to perform exposure assessments for their stations to ensure they comply with the FCC's RF exposure regulations. Find a link to the downloadable PDF in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. Is it lonely at the top for some YLs? Well, maybe that might be true a little bit in Soda, but one YL in Illinois hopes to get more YLs involved in the awards scheme that has activators hiking and climbing to their destination.
Paula, K9IR, is a proud mountain goat in the SOTA award scheme. 3 years ago, she had a tally of 1,000 points earned from more than 150 summit activations, qualifying her for the award. 2 years later, she achieved her second mountain goat designation. It shows her commitment to traveling to recognized summits, and it shows her effectiveness achieving the required number of contacts to qualify a summit. Writing on a SOTA reflector, Paula announced recently that a number of events are planned for the coming year that focus specifically on YLs. She is reaching out to YLs who are activating summits now or have an interest in trying it out. She announced that a survey will be going out shortly to find out what events in particular would get more YLs into SOTA, with the hope of re-engaging those YLs who are no longer active or not active yet. As she says on her page on QRZ.com, with its combination of radio operating and outdoor activity, SOTA can be considered a biathlon for geeks. And as we know, the winter biathlon season is just starting. This is Sel Envy, KB3, TZD.
Grants for scholarships, ham radio clubs, and technology classroom teachers are available in excess of $2.1 million as a result of combined funding from the Amateur Radio Digital Communications and the ARRL Foundation. The grant program, which is known as the ARDC Scholarship at the ARRL Foundation, is expected to create more than 200 scholarships during the next 3 years, providing sums of between $5,000 and $25,000 for higher education. The program has supported nearly 100 scholarships since it was created 3 years ago. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the KB9 LPP repeater in Twin Lakes, Wisconsin, on Saturdays. The repeater is DMR enabled on the Brandmeister network. When you get your amateur license, it's been said that you've gotten your ticket. But what does it mean if you receive a golden ticket? Well, One Ham in Minnesota has organized a special event station that answers the question. Ken Peterson, KC0DGY, tells us what it's all about.
It's no accident Shane Manzero's vanity call sign is W0NKA. He's a die-hard fan of the 1971 movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, in which golden tickets provide 5 children with admission to a place of magic and unending supplies of chocolate. Since then, Shane hasn't lost his taste for chocolate or the storyline. So as Warner Brothers releases the prequel to theaters, Shane and 2 friends, Brian, KB9TBB, and Dan, KD9OIV, are going on the air, calling QRZ using SSB and FD8 on the 15th, 16th, and 17th of December. Work them or send a shortwave listener's report. If you include a stamped, self-addressed envelope and a fee to cover the printing costs, you'll be getting a golden ticket, a shiny QSL card that Shane designed to look like the ticket in the original movie. See his page on QRZ.com for details. Best of all, this trio of activators will operate in a park, in addition to their home QTH. So contacts made during the daytime will count towards credit for parks on the air. Of course, daytime contacts will leave you free at night to go and see the movie. Now that's a sweet deal. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
There is hope for improved radio communication in a region of India that has long been plagued by cyclones. Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, explains.
Authorities in a cyclone-prone region of India are hoping to set up an amateur radio station on a remote island in the Sundarbans region, which is particularly hard hit by cyclones each year. Permanent stations have already been established in 2 area locations, Gangasagar Island and Gosaba. The 3rd area station would be installed on Mosley Island on a trial basis. Disaster management officials told local media that the station could become eligible for permanent status depending on the consistency and quality of radio signals to and from the island. Hams at these stations in the Sundarban Delta would be connecting directly with state administrators during disasters. In mid-November, hams tested propagation on Mosley Island using HF and VHF radios. The West Bengal Radio Club and the Indian Academy of Communication and Disaster Management oversaw the trial operation, which was conducted as a 2-day expedition to the island with a special call sign AT23JCB. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
Do you want to telegraph your support of the World Radio Sport Team Championship, which will be held in England in 2026? Jeremy Boot, G4NJ8, tells us how.
You don't have to be a CW operator to support WRTC 2026, but it helps, especially if you want to become the owner of one of the limited edition paddles designed for the event organizers by Philippe Lopsch, CT1ILT. Each key sold in this limited edition design will have its own unique serial number. Display it in your shack, or better still, use it on the air during the event in July of 2026, as 50 qualifying teams arrive in the UK to represent their home countries in what is viewed as the Olympics of amateur radio. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
In the world of DX, the Christmas station PA23XMAS leads a group of stations on the air from the Netherlands until the 31st of December. Certificates will take the place of QSL cards for anyone who works at least 2 of the stations. Other stations operating include PD23 Santa, PH23XMAS, PH23HNY, and PD24HNY. The 2 stations with the HNY suffix will remain on the air until the 24th of January. Shortwave listeners may also send in their reports. See QRZ.com for details. Also in the holiday spirit, members of Radio Club Lyra, EA5RCL, based in Valencia, Spain, are on the air as EH5XMAS for the holiday season, ending on the 7th of January. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Be listening as well for the popular 12 Days of Christmas special event from December 14th through the 25th, featuring stations from the U.S. and Canada. If you plan on working stations in Bermuda, be aware that the Radio Society of Bermuda is discontinuing its QSL Bureau service on December 31st, 2024 for the BP9 stations. Service will be phased out during the year ahead. For our final story, we have an awards presentation. The Amateur Radio Newsline International Newsmaker of the Year Award celebrates a clever and creative innovator in this, its 5th year. She is YL Raisa R1BIG/OH7BG. Through social media and various websites, she has given the world a window into what it means to struggle and grow as a ham. Newsline's editor, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT, spoke with her.
Congratulations to Raisa Skrinikova, R1BIG, who began in 2018 to channel her enthusiasm and humor to show how a newly licensed ham learns to put up antennas, enter a contest, activate a soda summit, and handle some incredible pileups. Her blogs, live streams, and YouTube videos are a source of information and goodwill. Raisa told Newsline why she decided to put her own story in the spotlight.
To show step by step that it is not very difficult to get and to pass the exam, to make your own equipment. You can also make your antenna yourself and put it and set it up yourself also. And I try to do all these videos and to show that the ham radio hobby is not so difficult, and you can do small and simple steps and go know more and more information. Why I like ham radio hobby? Because every day, every time, you need to learn something new, and this is the best thing, I think.
In 2021, Raisa advocated for greater friendship among the world's hams by taking another bold step. Building on the earlier work of Q Hams, she enlisted help from friends in different countries and assembled an easy-to-use interactive online practice guide offering commonly used QSO phrases in 11 different languages.
It is so nice. You feel a very nice feeling when someone talk a little bit in your language. And I thought, I would like to have to know some phrases in the different languages and to say some good hello, buongiorno, buonasera, and so on for the people and make them a little bit more happy.
Her humor and her relentless optimism about ham radio's future have provided a bright spot by using the technology that is guiding the next generation's amateurs.
I think that new technology and internet and social media will not kill the hobby. I think that they will help to the hobby because we can use them for promoting the hobby, make this hobby more popular, and that is exactly what I try to do.
We are proud of this year's international newsmaker, Raisa R1BIG. I'm Karen Eve Murray, KD2GT.
A past two-time Newsmaker Award winner, the West Bengal Radio Club in India, continues their exemplary work combining amateur radio with ongoing humanitarian efforts to reunite families and help save lives. Newsline felt that it needed to recognize this club's ongoing work and has awarded ARN's first ever special award to them. Long may they continue their great work. If this holiday season inspires you to feel a little bit like a poet, send us an amateur radio related haiku, and your creation just might be our pick of the week. Visit our website to learn more about the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge, and be sure to follow the rules for writing in correct haiku format. With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT Canada, the ARRL, the Central Coast ARC, CQ Magazine, David Behart, K7DB, the FCC, 425DX News, Hamside, the Irish Radio Transmitters Society, KB6NU Blog, the Millennium Post, theprint.com, QRZ.com, Radio World, Shane Manzara, W0NKA, shortwaveradio.de, the Soda Reflector, Wireless Institute of Australia, WRTC 2026, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operations. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Marie, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023. All rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Set to start in about 10 minutes.
W8VPV. Repeater.
Good evening, calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net.
W8VPV. Repeater.
My name is John and my call is W03X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until it starts to taper off. Then I'll go to 1 at a time. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been worked, I will repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. We also operate a band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. This evening it will be on 10 meters, so everybody has the privileges, but you may not have the equipment. The frequency will be 28.360 megahertz, plus or minus QRM, and it will be upper sideband. Here are the announcements. Okay, let's see here. On January 14th starts the general license class. Go to www.cfarc.org, click on the word education up the top, and then scroll down a little bit, and on the left side it says club classes, and there's a course information link and a course registration link. Before that, though, on January 10th is our first meeting of the year, and we will be reducing the time that we do business activity, and we are going to go more toward technology activity and probably something with antennas. We may we may select a project to do with antennas. And then 2 weeks after that, on January 24th, is our activity meeting. And we may continue with the antennas, and there also may be a presentation to be determined at this time. That's all that I have in a way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for members or officers who may have items of special interest. Okay, nothing heard. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. I'll take 5 at a time, but I'll acknowledge each one at a time.
WA3JAT.
WA3JAT, I have you, Jim. Another one, please.
Alpha Charlie 8, X-Ray Oscar.
Alpha Charlie 8, X-Ray Oscar, I have you, Vince. Another one, please. K8PU. K8PU, I have you, Larry. Another one, please.
Kilo Echo 8, Victor, Quebec X-Ray. I'll be in and out tonight, John.
Kilo Echo 8. What did I write here? Go ahead with your call again.
It's Kilo Echo 8, Victor, Quebec X-Ray. I'll be in and out tonight, John. Thank you.
Okay, KE8VQX. Okay, I have you in and out. Thanks. Another check-in, please.
Echo 8, Yankee Tango Golf.
KE8YTG, I have you. And one more since we had an in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Yankee Tango Golf.
Yeah, Kilo Echo 8 Yankee Tango Golf, I have you. And one more since we had one in and out. Okay, well, none heard, so let's go to the top here. WA3JAT, go ahead, Jim, with your comments.
W8VPV, WA3JAT returning. Good evening, John, and everyone on the net. I had a good time at the Christmas party a little while ago, and thanks to those who shared that evening, and also a nice talk by Max Grubb. I think I would say the Christmas party was an A+. Nothing else new here. I do have an antenna project I've been working on, but it's halfway up, and the weather hasn't been warm enough for me to enjoy climbing ladders and climbing trees to finish it. So it's going to stay halfway up for a while, maybe until spring, but we'll see how that goes. Back to you, John. W8VPV, WA3JAT.
Okay, Jim, very good. Yeah, the Christmas dinner was a really nice occasion there, and that presentation was really interesting, and I got some information also from it there that I didn't have, so it was a lot of fun. Okay, Jim, well, there may be some nice days where you could finish that project there, so hopefully that comes through for you. So 73, Jim, and maybe we'll hear you on the band exploration net on 10 meters. Okay, so that takes us to Vince, AC8XO. Go ahead, Vince, with your comments.
Good evening, John, and everybody on the net. I kind of tuned in late, so I missed any announcements, but that's not important. From my aspect, the important part is the end of the year. If you have something for January for the newsletter, get it in as you can. I will be sniffing around the emails to get that stuff ready for publication. Other than that, I have nothing. It's been a quiet week here. So, Alpha Charlie 8, X-Ray Oscar, back to net.
Okay, Vince, very good. You hear that, people? Get your articles into Vince there for January. Okay, so next is Larry, K8PU. Go ahead, Larry, with your comments.
Good evening, John. Everybody on the net. Just nothing new, exciting. Give thanks to Vince there for doing the newsletter. It's a chore, and he does an excellent job. So mention that again. And weather is good. Hanging on. Jim ought to be able to get that antenna done, I think. Pretty decent. Anyways, nothing else to say. Glad the picnic or the Christmas dinner was a success. I couldn't make it, but I'm glad it turned out well. And beyond that, I'll catch you 10 meters 9:30, John. So back to you, W8VPV K8PU.
Okay, Larry, very good. There was many stories to tell, and We were there over past the time that the place closes, but it didn't seem to be any problem with them at all. So it was a lot of fun. Okay, I'll listen for you on 10 meters later. Okay, so let's see. KEA VQX Joe in Akron was in and out. So next is Steve, KE8YTG. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
Yeah, thank you, John, for running the net tonight. I did have a great time at the dinner. I appreciate all the effort that everybody put in. I look forward to next year's antenna demonstrations and so forth. I'm interested in getting into that. So that's really all I have tonight. Thank you so much, John, for running the net this evening. This is Steve at KE8YTG. Back to the net, 73, everybody.
Okay, Steve, very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking for check-ins.
K8HMS.
K8HMS, I have you, Steve. Another one, please.
KE8KVI.
KE8KVI. Good evening, Ron. I have you. Another one, please.
November 8, Alpha Charlie Papa N88CP. In and out tonight, John. Thank you.
ACP, Chris, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
KA8WTK.
KA8WTK, I have you, Bill. Another check-in, please.
Whiskey 8, Echo Zulu Tango. Far.
Okay, there was a double there, but I got W8EZT. I have you, Frank. And then who was the other one?
KE8TQR.
KE8TQR. Okay. So let's go back up to the top here. That was Steve, K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
Hey, John. How good a copy you got on the 440 side?
You're breaking up a little bit there, but go ahead. Let's see how it works.
Okay, any better on 2 meters?
Yeah, it's better for now. Go ahead.
Okay, makes a dog bark. Oh, you know, stand by.
He's way in the background. We can barely hear the dog.
Okay, I'm going back forward side. Yeah, it's just anyhow. Yeah, good evening to you. Good evening to everybody. And hope everybody's doing okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Christmas dinner, and it was nice having you there at our table, John. And met some new people and learned a lot of new stuff, and the program was very, very interesting. Break for time. Being an old fart around town here, I grew up with all those radio stations he was talking about. So anyway, yeah, good time. So back to you there, WAVPV, KHMS.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I'm not from around here, but I had a special interest in WHLO 640 kilohertz. So that's why I asked that question there. Sometime when maybe at a meeting or something, I'll mention the story about that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun there. And yeah, I was over by KDKA. That's where I lived. So it was interesting hearing about all that. And I still have well, my 56 Buick has an AM radio, and the other two cars have AM and FM. So I'm still good on the radio. And I get XM Sirius radio for free on certain occasions there in the newer vehicle, the 2006 car there. So that just ended last week, the free service. So okay, so 73 there, Steve, and maybe we'll see at one of the meetings in the future. So that takes us to Ron, KE8, KVI. Go ahead, Ron, with your comments.
Not much of a comment. Had a great dinner tonight. Sitting here with friends playing cards at the moment, and not really winning at the moment either, so I'm a little depressed.
Well, we'll make it quick. We'll let you get back to your game there so maybe you can pull yourself out. So thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening. Okay, next is Bill, KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill, with your comments.
BPV, KA8WTK. Not much going on around here. We're still decorating, and we take a day off from decorating now and then and do something different. You need to do that. And Saturday we moved, the good weather let us move a lot of firewood from the storage area up in the back down to the woodshed. Unfortunately, I sprained my wrist somewhere in there and had it all wrapped up with a little splint on it, just about spent. So unfortunate, but you know, these things happen. As long as I can carry firewood in and out of the wood stove, we'll be okay. So that's about it. Back to net control, W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill, yeah, that's no fun spraining something there, so, but it sounds like you can still do what you want to do with that firewood, so good luck with that. So 73, and have a good evening. Okay, let's see, next was Frank, W8EZT. Go ahead, Frank, with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor, Papa Victor.
Evening, John, everybody out there. I, too, had a great time at the Christmas party and learned a lot about local radio. I, too, am a local kid from way back, so a lot of the questions about why things went the way they were answered. I don't know if you made this announcement at the front end of the net. I missed it if you did. Basically, we will not be having a net on the 25th of December, which is a Monday night, nor the 31st. That doesn't mean anybody else can't just pop in here and, talk for a while, but we're not going to have an official net. We probably won't have Newsline. I haven't talked to KD8VYT, but probably won't have Newsline either. So that's really all I've got. I just want to wish everybody out there a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And there's my reminder to check into the net. And other than that, that's about it. We'll hand it back to you and have a good one. W8EZT, back to net.
Oh, okay, Frank. Very good about not having a net on the 25th and the 1st. Yeah, the Aries net is not going to be on either. And so I had mentioned that we would still have our net, but we still have that was on the Aries net. I mentioned that we would still be having our net, but I'll send Greg an email message saying that we will not be having our nets those days. So thanks for letting me know, and we'll listen for you on 10 meters here this evening. Okay, so that takes us down to Keith, KE8TQR. Go ahead, Keith, with your comments.
W8VPV, KE8TQR. Good evening, John, and good evening to everyone else on the net tonight. Good to hear everybody. I am extremely happy over this last weekend, well, actually Friday, which turned out to be a beautiful day. I did get the tower project that I've been working on for so many months. I did get the tower in the vertical position. A friend of mine, N8LTR, come over and we did the rigging and we had the tower up there smoothly. It's only 30 feet of the 50 foot of tower, but right at the moment that's more than I had. And I've got a bit of mass pole on there that takes it up another 5 feet, and the GP15 is sitting at the top. And now all I got to do is work on the coax and get it all run to the shack. A little bit of grounding work, which I still have left to do, and I'll be having some good times over the winter months with what I have out there. Also putting up a wire antenna. I'm not sure of the frequency, so don't hold me to that. I know it's an off-center fed. I'll have to talk to Bill about that because I don't remember offhand. So I'll be having some HF fun over the winter months, I'm sure. But anyway, I have got the tower in the vertical position, at least 3 sections of it, and just wanted to let everybody know that because I've told most of the nets that I've been on, and I am there. And I keep going out there, pinching myself and looking at it. So there is that. It's something to be proud of, I think, and I am. So anyway, I want to send it back to you, John. I'll stop rambling on. And you all have a great evening and great rest of the week. And this is KE8TQR saying 73.
Keith, when you go to add the other 20 feet, will you tilt it back over again and add them, or will you climb it and use a gin pole or something like that? Over.
Next spring, I'll be tilting it back over, adding the other 2 sections, plus we plan to put all the antennas on wides in mostly a horizontal position because the one antenna I've got, which is the Penta 10, weighs about 60 pounds. So we'll be putting that on and then lifting the tower back up. There comes the fun time, I'm sure, because I haven't got all the planning done for that yet, but if it takes a crane, I have a couple places that I have on call. So yeah, we'll be tilting it over and then tilting it back up next spring. KE8TQR.
Okay, very good. And keep in mind that the coaxial cables that go around the rotator need to be more flexible. So keep that in mind with your choice of coaxes that go around the rotator. Okay, so good luck with that. That sounds like that's going to be a mighty fine setup there when it's done. So 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins.
KE8ULA, Leo checking in with no traffic.
KE8ULA, I have you in here, Leo. I will get back with you in a moment. Another check-in, please.
Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Golf Delta, in and out.
KE8WGD, we have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Another check-in, please. Okay, the activity's tapering down here, so we'll go back up to Leo here. KE8ULA, what's going on over there?
Oh, yeah, thanks, John. not much going on here tonight. I really don't have any traffic tonight. I just wanted to check in, say hello to everybody, wish everybody happy holidays.
Okay, happy holidays to you too, Leo, and 73, and have a good evening. Okay, let's see. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. I'll repeat the announcements. Okay, big news for everybody with a technician license. January 14th starts the general license class, and it goes for 6 Sundays. It is on Zoom. It's free. Anybody in the world can participate in it. And just go to cfarc.org. Let me start over. Go to www.cfarc.org. Up the top is the word education. Click on that, then scroll down a little bit, and on the left side is club classes. And there's a link there for class information and a link there to register. So again, that's January 14th it starts, and it goes for 6 Sundays. It starts at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, ends at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you know anybody elsewhere, you know, like I said, anywhere in the world that would like to get their general license, or you know, learn what's needed to pass the test, and also learn all the aspects of the general license, let them know. Okay, it was mentioned by the radio officer this evening that we will not have any nets on Christmas Day or New Year's Day. That's December 25th and January 1st. And there may not be Newsline either. So that's the story about our nets here. Let's see, and next week the band expiration net will be on 40 meters, around 7.187 plus or minus QRM. Usually we move up in frequency a little bit. Let's see, okay, January 10th is our first meeting of the year, and we will have reduced business activity, and we will have some technical discussion and possibly choosing an antenna project or something that we would proceed with. And then on January 24th is our activity meeting of the year. The activity is to be announced. It hasn't been determined yet. So, and we may continue with that, what we started on the 10th. Let's see. So that's all that I have in the way of announcements at this time. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, none heard. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call's WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 14 check-ins counting myself and return the repeater to normal and customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:01 p.m. local time. 7-3. The band exploration net will be on 28.360 megahertz at 9:30. WO3X, clear.
W8VTV. Repeater PL110.9. W8VPV. Repeater. T above T M S M T V active. W8VPV. Repeater.
interested in listening.
Email address is on QRZ. I really would like to be able to use the...
UPP, you're 5-9 here, 5-9.
Roger, 5-9.
Let's turn it over to Claudia for the subject of your choice, Claudia. AC7LF, KBC.
En Colorado Springs.
Yes, I do. Whiskey 4, Quebec Bravo Alpha, Manan, 5-9, all the
Maurice, let me also throw it.
Pues pendiente, chao. Ya, yo no estoy hablando, corro.
When we talk with you next week, I'll look forward to that. And all these years, and now you're finally getting that shortwave radio of your own. How nice. Let's see if Kristen has gotten back on frequency. KT7BGK, we're coming back to you. And you left off telling us about picking out the books to read to the children at the library, I believe. Over.
Members who have items of special interest. I'll just call one at a time on this here. Okay, here are the announcements. Okay, big news for technician license hams. January 14th starts the general license class. It is on Zoom and it is available around the world. There's no fee for it. It starts at 1:30 p.m. on January 14th, runs till about 4 o'clock, and it goes for 6 Sundays. And that will enable you to obtain enough knowledge to possibly pass the general license test at a nearby volunteer exam session. Again, that starts January 14th, 2024, 1:30 p.m. To take a look at it and to register, go to our website, www.cfarc.org. That's Charlie Foxtrot Alpha Romeo Charlie, CFARC.org. And click on the word education at the top. Then scroll down a little bit, and there's club classes on the left. And there you will see a link that has information about the class, and then there is a link to register for it. So take a look at that if you're interested. If you know anybody that would want to get their general license, let them know and pass this information on to them. Now, before that, though, January 10th is our first meeting of the year, and we will have reduced business discussions, and so we will have time for other activities, such as maybe discuss an antenna project that we would like to start. And then 2 weeks after that, the fun continues, January 24th, and there may be an activity, or we may continue with that project. So if there is an activity, it hasn't yet been determined. Our meetings are in person at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, 130 Broad Boulevard. They start at 7:30, and you can also participate on Zoom. The link will be on the calendar, so it's open to everybody. Okay, so that's January 10th and January 24th, and the general license class, January 14th. Let's see, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. The nets will not be on December 25th and January 1st. We will have no nets, and there probably will not be Newsline either at 8:01. The net on December 25th would have been the 80-meter net, and the band exploration net on January 1st would have been the 6-meter net. So have some fun on the holidays there, and I'm sure you'll miss the net here, but try to have fun without them. So let's see, with that, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking, are there any members or officers who have items of special interest? Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Let me know if you are in and out.
Whiskey Alpha 3, Juliet Alpha Tango.
WA3JAT, good evening, Jim. What's going on there?
Well, the 2-meter net, since it ended a little earlier, there weren't as many check-ins as usual. I had strawberries to clean, and I just had just enough time to clean them and carve them up and get them in the fridge. So I put my time to good use between the 2 nets.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, I put my time to good use. I'm rigging up some electrical switches here to provide a manual changeover if I want to run the generator for the furnace and the refrigerator. So I had time to check out further equipment that I may need to purchase, namely a suitable box for the switches, that's big enough. Okay, so we got some good activity done here between the nets. Anything else for the net there, Jim?
No. Looking forward to Christmas coming up with 4 grandkids. That's an exciting time for them, and I feed off their excitement. Sometimes my wife says I feed off it a little bit too much. I get the kids a little worked up, but that's what grandpas are for. Back to you, John. W8VPV, WA3JAT.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Grandpa's are to get them worked up. That's right. Let's see. And thanks for getting that Hamfest contacts made, and you obtained some material there. So thanks for that. And we also noticed that the Hamfest is not listed with the ARRL, or at least didn't show up in the ARRL section journal. But there's a Hamfest on the same day down in southern Ohio. They're close to Kentucky and West Virginia. Over.
Yeah, I saw that. I assume since Bruce acknowledged it that he followed up on it today to see that we are registered, but he hasn't sent out a message to the rest of the officers yet. I hope he will soon, that he's cleared that matter up. I don't really want to talk about it on the air, but if you want to talk about the Hamfest tomorrow, give me a call. I had some ideas, but so far I've been kind of stymied. So again, I don't want to air it here on the air. So that's about all I have to say. And good evening to you. Hopefully we get some more.
I'll send you an email. Okay. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking for check-ins. K8HMS. Good evening, Steve. Let's see what antenna I'm on there. Okay, yeah, I'm on that lower antenna that I mentioned at the Christmas dinner there. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you got a nice signal. You know, a little bit of background noise, but not loud. If you want to try another one, go ahead.
No, we'll just stick with this one since it's working okay for you. This is the one that would stay up when I tilt the tower over to change the rotator, the mast, and the tri-band beam. So what's going on there, Steve?
Yeah, not a lot, John. Just as usual, good hearing from you. And thank you much for running both nets. But yeah, haven't been doing much. Not too much operating. Was on the 10-meter contest over the weekend, and yeah, made a few contacts. Nice to hear 10 meters going okay. But other than that, yeah, not doing a lot of operating, and just doing a few special event stations and stuff. But anyway, yeah, just always good to get on, and it's a little well, as you would know, a little tougher out there walking now with the weather the way it is, but I still try to get out with the dog, and you know, if the wind isn't blowing, it doesn't make it too bad. So and yeah, and like you say, it was nice seeing you at the Christmas party. Nice sitting with you there on at the table. And yeah, WHLO, that was you had mentioned that. Yeah, I was surprised to hear you say that, because that was, I think back in the day, that was the big stations that all us kids listened to on AM. And yeah, it's kind of sad. I have heard on and off they might be eliminating AM on new car radios, maybe just FM. So which would be kind of sad, because I'm still an AM guy. Anyway, don't want to hold it up. Back to you there, WAVTV, KHMS.
Yeah, okay, Steve. Yeah, we probably have a pile up here. Yeah, I'll tell you sometime why I was interested in WHLO. I lived in Crafton over there near Pittsburgh at the time, and so I would hear them on there, and so that's part of the story on that. And I think it was Ford took the radios out or AM off, but then some government operation requested that they put it back on because they use AM for emergency communications to the public. So, you know, like they used to have 640 and 1240. That's the story on that. Okay, good to hear you, and I'll talk with you sometime. I'll tell you the story about WHLO. So 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray at the mic for W8VPV asking for check-ins.
November 8th, Alpha Charlie Papa, N8 ACP, Chris, Cadillac Hill, Akron, Ohio.
N8 ACP, good evening, Chris. What's going on over there?
Good evening there, John. Well, I made good use of the time between the nets, too. The other gentleman mentioned whacking up some strawberries, and I made a French dish that I haven't had since I was in Paris, steak haché avec ours à cheval, which generally translates to hamburgers with eggs on horseback, and contrary to a myth, there's no horse meat in it. Anyways, and I usually they don't put any bread under it, or they serve it with crusty bread, and I didn't have any, so I put them on English muffins, and it's kind of like a breakfast burger, and they turned out pretty good. And I also roasted some potatoes, so got that down the hatch, and I'm just waiting for it to cool down so I can stick it in the fridge. Good to hear you again on time, John. W8VPV 73 from November 8 Alpha Charlie Papa.
Okay, Chris. Talking about French stuff, I did make a contact with France during that 10-meter contest, and the signal was way stronger than when I did the 13 colonies and contacted France. This year I did manage to get all the stations on 13 colonies, and so that it's funny how the band was so strong for more distant stations. Over.
Yeah, Roger. I'm almost positive I worked French states, and I'm running through my log right now. I did work Namibia in Africa. Couldn't get any 8s or 9s, well, except for you, of course, and I thank you again for that. Let's see if I got a Fox station in here. I'm sure that I did. I had to have. I'm not seeing it in the log. Maybe I didn't get France, so. And yeah, those French stations were, I must have gone by it. Those French stations in 13 colonies were very, very weak. I'm not sure why that was, but the ones in the contest were strong. All right, 73, John. Catch you later. And 73 to all on the net. November 8, Alpha Charlie Papa.
Okay, Chris, 73 to you, and hope to hear you on the air soon. N8 ACP, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Thanks for checking in. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Kilo Alpha 8, Whiskey Tango Kilo.
Let's see. KA8WTK. Go ahead, Bill, and I'll listen. I'll try another antenna. Go ahead.
Okay, John, W8VPV, KA8WTK. I'm just using my little 10-watt rig here, so into the gap vertical. WHLO. We used to listen to WHLO. I had a crystal radio set, and I would connect the antenna to the aluminum screen on my window in the summertime of a bedroom and go to sleep with the earphone in. Well, WHLO went off at sundown, So you'd listen to them up until then, and then you'd switch over to Whiskey 1260 or one of the other ones. And but the interesting thing about listening to WHLO is when they went off the air, Radio Havana, Cuba would fire up English language broadcasts to the United States. And you could hear Radio Havana, Cuba on your little crystal radio sitting in Cuyahoga Falls. It was really neat. And that 10-meter contest this weekend, that kicked me off the sideband section, so I went up to the 2900 AM, and the western United States were coming in on AM in the 2900 and above. Calgary on 29060 was really booming in here. And then just before the band went away, NL7OW, Anchorage, Alaska, was coming on. I couldn't get him because I just didn't have enough power for him to hear me, but it was an amazing band that day. And you're right, grandpas are for winding them up and handing them back. I wish I could do that. I got my one granddaughter in Virginia and two granddaughters in Portland, Oregon, so it's tough to do. I got to try and do it remotely. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't. Anyway, back to net control. W8BPV, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill, very good. Yeah, I switched to the other antenna, and which is up a little higher. It's a vertical also, and so that improved my reception. So, WHLO signed off, like you said, at sundown, and that was the reason I was interested in it. This was back in the late 60s, so it came in handy for what I was doing. So very good there, Bill. Sounds good. Yeah, that was that Christmas dinner was a lot of fun there. So that presentation. So with that, I'll say 73 to you, and have a good evening, and we'll hope to hear you on another net there sometime. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
ACU.
Victor Quebec X-ray.
Okay, I got KAPU and let's see, and I got Victor Quebec X-ray. Let's see, KE8 Victor Quebec X-ray. Okay, that's Joe. Okay, we'll go with you first, Joe. I'll wait there, Larry. We'll get to you.
W8BTV, this is KE8VQX. Thanks, John, for picking me up. Sorry I didn't get to participate much on the 2-meter net. I was invited over to my neighbor's house, and I just brought a handheld over there, so that's all I could do was check in. Anyway, great to be able to participate on the band exploration net on 10 meters. Hopefully I'm coming in okay. I dialed the radio back to about 50 watts, so with my input halfway. So hopefully I'm coming in okay. And I won't hold you guys up. Just wanted to say thanks for getting me in here. So W8BTV, this is KE8VQX. Back to you, John. Thank you.
Okay, Joe. Oh, I have a real good copy on you there. The band is pretty quiet here, and at least over my house here, so I have no trouble at all copying you. You're way above the noise level. So thanks for checking in, Joe, and 73, have a good evening. Okay, next is Larry, K8PU. Go ahead, Larry.
Evening, John. Everybody on the net. Yeah, I heard you say you're hooking up your generator. I just put I've always had a generator in the garage, for power outage, but but I got a bigger one here 4 or 5 years ago, about 4 years ago, I guess, about 7,500. And I have a 240 line going to the garage, so I go out and I put the generator on the connectors, plug it in, reverse the juice back into the house, throw the main breaker, and I can pretty much power the whole house. 2 30-amp lines coming into the house, I can pretty much power the whole house. We have a power outage, and that's pretty neat. You know, we can watch TV, use the microwave, refrigerator. Can run the air conditioning, but I think it would, haven't had to, but because it's usually a wintertime event. We could, I guess, but I think it's around 18 amps. But anyways, makes it pretty nice, so we don't worry about power outages. If I keep 2 gallons of gas in the garage, and usually good for many days. So it's good to have. Okay, nothing new and exciting here. Catch everybody next week on the net, and don't see anybody till January. Well, we'll suffer through it. So back to you, John. W8VPV, Gateview.
Okay, Larry, very good. Thanks for checking in and telling us about your generator there. Yeah, the 7,500 watts. That's enough to run enough of the house there. Like you said, yeah, you don't have to run the air conditioning. So very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John, WO3X, at the mic, asking for check-ins.
Kilo Echo 8 Yankee Tango Golf, KE8YTG, Stephen Stowe.
Okay, let's see, Kilo Echo 8 Yankee Tango Golf. Okay, let's see. Let's see where you're located there, so I can, maybe I can, let's see, KE8 Yankee Tango Golf. Let's see. Oh, okay, so you're in Stowe. Let me see here. I'll try, I'm going to switch to my horizontal antenna here. Okay, go ahead, Steve. Go ahead with your comments. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Yeah, thank you so much, John, for running the net tonight, and I appreciate all the effort you're doing tonight and all the events that we have. Really enjoyed the holiday party, and I just wanted to tell everybody on the net that happy holidays. Hope everybody's safe, and I'll turn it back over. This is KE8YTG, Steve and Stowe.
Okay, Steve. Yeah, I switched to my horizontal antenna, and I have a really good copy on you like that. And yeah, that Christmas dinner party was a really fun experience there. So yeah, I had fun there, and it sounds like you did too. So very good. Thanks for checking in. 73, and have a good evening, and you have a really good signal over here. So 73. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John, WO3X, at the mic, asking for check-ins. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Kilo Echo 8 Whiskey Golf Delta. Go ahead with your comment.
Well, this is my first attempt at one of the Bandage installation net. This is something I was antenna, so I wasn't sure if anybody would hear me at all.
Well, let's see what antenna I'm on right now. Okay, I'm on the other vertical antenna. I have a real good copy on you. Let's see. Well, yeah, you're not very far away. Okay, go ahead. So what's going on over there?
I have a 6-set random wire antenna in my basement and a 2-watt radio, so I think it's just a good nearby. So that's about all I got going on in 1917.
Okay, well, I got a solid S9 on you. That's great. And fed wire in your basement. Okay, well, Greg, have a good evening there, 73, and thanks for checking in here. You have a good signal over here anyhow, thanks. Okay, with that, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John, WO3X at the mic, asking for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any at this time. I'll repeat the announcements and then I'll give one last call for check-in. Okay, so January 10th is our first meeting of the year, and it will have reduced business time and maybe more with discussion about maybe a possible project, like maybe with antennas or something. And then that type of activity will continue on January 24th, and there may also be a presentation on that date. Our meetings start at 7:30 p.m. Those are on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays, and it is both in person and on Zoom. So if you want to be there in person, it's the Pilgrim United Church of Christ on Broad Boulevard, but you get to the parking lot by being on 2nd Street south of Broad Boulevard. Let's see, and again it's 7:30, and then there'll be a link on the calendar for Zoom if you want to participate online. Okay, and so that's both January 10th and January 24th. Now, here's some big news for hams that are on this band but don't have their license for lower frequency bands. On January 14th, that's Sunday, January 14th at 1:30 p.m. starts the general license class and it goes for 6 Sundays. So to check that out, go to www.cfarc.org and click on the word education up the top, and then scroll down a little bit, and on the left side you'll see classes, and there is a link to a description, and then there's a link to register. So take a look at that, and then maybe you can pass a test at a volunteer exam session near where you are. Like I said, this is all around the world there, so you don't have to be here in Cuyahoga Falls to participate in that general license class. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, so with that, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic. Last call for check-ins. November 8th, yeah, go ahead, Buck. Can you hear me better on this antenna? Okay, very good, Buck. So thanks for checking in, and I'll hear you on the 75-meter net tomorrow there if you check into it. So thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening, and it's always good to hear from you, Buck. Over. Okay, Buck, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, that was Buck down there in southern Summit County. So let's see, let me switch back to my vertical. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins.
November 8 Alpha, Charlie Papa recheck.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell Buck, I don't know if he can hear me, but I heard every word he said. Nice, good audio, low signal strength, but I was hearing him just fine. W8VPV, November 8 Alpha, Charlie Papa.
Okay, Chris, very good, very good. Hey, Buck, I don't know if you could hear Chris, but he could hear you okay. That's Chris N8ACP could hear every word there, Buck. NAYRX 73, and thanks, Chris, for Buck's signal report. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-in. Okay, Buck, very good. You could hear Chris. No signal strength, but you could tell every word there. Very good. Well, that's all you need to communicate. So very good. Thanks, Buck, for Chris's signal report. Okay. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic. Last call for check-in. Okay, not hearing any. We had a pretty good net here this evening on this 10-meter band. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. As mentioned earlier, this band exploration net meets every Monday at 9:30 p.m. Next week, the frequency will be 40 meters on or about 7.187 megahertz. Please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. All comments are welcomed and valuable to us. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, closing the net at 10:10 p.m. local time, 7-3, with, let's see, 10 check-ins counting myself, 7-3.
I'll be right back.
You gotta work tomorrow, don't you?
Yeah.
Supposed to be nice Wednesday. You ought to have me and Mark and Jonathan come over and help you hook the tower up.
If I need help, I'll call you.
No, you won't. Won't get done unless I organize it.
You are so full of dog doo. I'm out to get Copenhagen.
Know I'm right.
I'm out to get Copenhagen.
Gotta go by 2:30. So we'll do it at about 10. Won't take a minute.
It's all good. There was some little kid running down the street who was junking with his wagon, and I put it on his wagon and said, "Go on, little boy."
Yeah. Hey, don't lose those dollies that I took over. That's how I moved them dragon boats.
Oh, yeah, that's not a problem. I got I put them in the garage.
Okay, yeah, that's how I moved the dragon boats in and out of the water.
Yep, I got a pile of stuff to bring over to you. All right, let me go get my tuna back. I'll be right back, and a scotch. Actually, Jeffy, I think I'm out of scotch. Oh, boy.
That's why I buy bundles of bottles instead of running out.
Is that after or before your nap?
No, that's in between. Actually, they carry them out to the vehicle for me.
Alrighty then.
Taking care of your nicotine habit.
Yes, I am. I haven't put a dip in yet because I'm going to take a sip of this Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon.
That's not Scotch.
I'm out.
Next time you go to the liquor store, pick me up and I'll tell you how to buy Scotch. In volume.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when Steve would never drink nothing.
I really don't drink that much. So when Jeffy turned me on the Scotch, I kind of like it, but I have honestly just, I'll pour 2 fingers and I'll sip on that, but I don't go back for a second now, and I just kind of backed way off of the volume of it.
I don't say you should drink a lot of Scotch. You should buy a lot so you don't run out.
On the rocks there, Jeffy, or straight?
Oh, no, on the rocks. No. But the Elijah Craig is straight.
So the Chevette would be on the rock.
Oh, no, Chevette would be straight. I don't drink Chevette. I mean, that's not, to me, that's not real good. I drink other. I mean, it's a good Scotch, but I've got several bottles of that downstairs on the shelf, but I haven't had that for years. I do have it, but I haven't drank it for years. But it would be straight. And you just sip it, that's all. And you don't drink to get drunk. That's the point.
Well, if you're drinking flavor, wouldn't it be wine?
Well, I'm not a connoisseur of wine. My cousins own a winery up in Ashtabula County. I'm just not a connoisseur of wine. I don't know all the different kinds of wine. I do enjoy wine. I don't buy.
sirens to see him coming.